Well, good afternoon on this glorious Friday afternoon. A couple of things I think before we start this afternoon, because of course, tile 357, but I just want to put your mind at rest before we even start, because I know some of you are still waiting for your parcels. And I spoke with Hobby Maker yesterday. I actually met the lady who's dealing with it all, and I actually saw for myself that they're tracking anything that's not been delivered yet, or they know exactly what's going on. So bit of patience, please, because they are dealing with it, and we are doing the best that we possibly can. Sometimes, and it is actually quite rare that these things happen, and it looks like there's perhaps a little batch that's gone awry, so they're looking to see what they can do with that. We do have to give the courier time to sort it out, which is why they sort of say you have to wait so many days. And I know it's frustrating because you all want your products and you see these lovely gnomes and things that other people are doing. But you know what? Take notes of what they're doing, and then yours is going to be better when you get them. But rest assured, it doesn't matter if they've gone missing or if Hobby Maker for any reason cancel your order or anything like that. I'll always make sure that you get your products. So please just don't panic, don't worry, don't let that anxiety get in, and we will sort it for you, okay? I know that all the parcels have gone out. I know that everybody at the office works really hard to do that. It just sometimes these things happen, and it's happened to me. Incredibly frustrating, I know. So please hang in there just for a little while longer and know that we're dealing with it and we're doing whatever we can, and we will sort it for you. So please don't panic. What I have done, because I know when you're hurting, so am I, and I feel your pain, I really do. I've given you, or I put on the website, a little 10% off coupon. So if you want to get anything from the website, and there's no restrictions, anything that's on that website, if you put in the code TILE 357, which is today's tile, then you'll get 10% off, and I'm going to leave that on all weekend, so all the way up until midnight on Sunday evening. If you like the idea of something, if you've never been to a class and you think, oh, that's going to really make a difference to me, then go on there and book it. So okay, but if that helps, I've had sort of the morning from hell, because I've picked up a different car today, because my electric car, it's a little, I feel it's a bit unsafe actually parking up at service stations at really silly times of the day and night to charge it up. So we've brought a second-hand car for me to travel to Redditch and back in. And of course, driving it back all the way from Newark, I got to the M180, ready to go up the motorway. And the front bit where the radiator's held in, you know, the bit under the bonnet, that's fell off. So I spent a good half an hour at a trucker's stop this morning, actually asking truckers, speaking of say, if they'd got any cable ties or duct tape. So luckily we got it sorted. John come and met me, and we actually taped it all up, and I've got it to a garage, so they're fixing it for me. So hence I'm working from home today. But yeah, it's been that kind of a morning. So please, if you're having a bad day, come and live my life just for a little while. But of course, I'm all safe and I'm back at home with the boys. So if we're ready after that little anecdote. And by the way, if you watched Pauline not quite fall off a chair yesterday, but the chair, so that's the exact same chair I had, and I had to be ever so careful with it yesterday. And Dave and I were absolutely in stitches with it. So it's been that kind of a couple of days. I know, Chris, I will get a reputation. But you know what? You asked nicely, and generally the general public is mostly helpful. So, okay, are we ready to start? After all that, are we ready to start? I know, Louise. And look, I'm on a tiny little board today because, of course, everything is in the electric car, and John's got that up at the office. Luckily, he met me at the garage, so he could give me a key so I could get into the house. Yeah. Oh, do you know what? It's been that kind of a morning. But if we're ready to start, okay, I've got my pen, pencil, tortillon. Of course, I've got my white chalky pencil as well, because I'm working on one of the regular sort of the crafty colour tiles. Are we ready? Here we go then. Going to start in the middle. I'm going to put a bubble in. Let's see how this bubble's going to turn out. Not too small, but not huge. Let's have a look. Here we go. Taking my time. Gosh, I need this tile today. Hey, There we go. First one done. Okay. So if yours is a little bit bigger, I know, Louise, it's a lovely car, second-hand car, lovely car. It just needs the front end screwing in. So luckily I went to my local garage and he's sorting it out for me today. So that's really kind. Now I'm going to do an aura inside. But if after looking at this, you find that yours is a little bit too small, you might want to do an aura outside. See where you go with that, okay? All right. So I'm going to just zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing now, okay? Oh, Rose, what make of a car? I've already had 2 of these cars. I might tell you in a bit. Let's do our tile. Let's do our tile. Okay, so you might want to use a pencil for this because what I want to do here is I want to mark 6 positions. So if I do those 2, see, not too close there, then I can do sort of 2 here and 2 here. Okay, so I don't need to worry about that, yeah. Oh, and hello, Julie. I have actually got zingers on this today. So you're in good company. Okay, there you go, first one. Now notice that these bubbles aren't as large as the other. They're quite a bit small. And of course, yesterday, it was an anniversary of mine. It was actually 13 years, a long time now. 13 years since my sister passed. So it was nice actually to think of her and have a little bit of a laugh and enjoy, because I know she would have loved what we were doing and she would have absolutely fell to pieces watching me or Pauline or anybody else, you know, falling off a chair and just enjoying life, because that's what she was like. So, okay, you ready? We've got these bubbles going on. Now, if you want to go the other way, you can, but being that I'm left-handed, yeah, that might suit. What I want to do is I want to go round, you see? Round. Like that. Okay, easy done. So let's do that on all of them, and I want to go the same way with all of them. Okay. And this one. And I'm going around that bubble as well, so even if you go up bank, whatever works for you, sort of follow it off and you're going to get a nice curve. Oh, Rose, that sounds lovely. I've had something a little bit of a bigger engine than that. I do love my Audis. So I have gone back to an Audi TT. So I'm getting the mess taken out of me about speeding and all sorts of things. But there we go. All right, that's my first one. So far, so good. So again, I'm going to take my pencil. Wants me back a bit. And here we go. I'm going to sort of imagine, not straight up, but more at an angle. I'm going to put another bubble. See? So let's turn that one around, see, another angle, and put a bubble. So if I was to leave my pencil there, look, and turn that round. So when I've got that almost vertical, and put another bubble, I could do that. Okay? So it's sort of almost at a bit of an angle. Putting those in. There we are. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's fine. So now I'm happy with that. I can come in, put those in. There's little bubbles again. Okay. Oh, hello, Leslie. There we go. Do you know what, Heather? I think I'm going to start carrying that in the car as well. But you know, if you ever get stopped and they open the boot and they're like, why have you got duct tape and cable ties? You can't say in case the bottom falls off, can you really? Okay, looking at this one here then, this angle, I'm going to create a curve this way. There we go. All right. Oh, dear me. We do have these times, don't we? We do. What a team we all are, eh? What a team. Oh, I don't know. Okay, see? On each one of these, we've got this little curve. Oh, we have to laugh though, don't we? We've all cried together, but let's laugh together as well. Okay, so far so good. So of course I'm going to now join these bubbles together. And again, a curve inwards. You notice you've got quite a nice space there. If your bubble is a little bit too close. You might find that your space is a little bit narrow there, but that's okay. Oh, hello Maureen. Do you know what? I love this tangle too. And I wanted to show you this one today because this is the one that I used on my folder. You know, the white folder that I showed yesterday. And I wanted to show everybody how straightforward it is to create. And of course, you don't have to do it in a straight line if you don't want to. You can do it as a curve, anything like that. So there you go, yeah, all right. And yes, Rose Gladys did win the card. Do you know, it was so lovely to see somebody that, I mean, it's anybody to, you know, to win the card, but it was just so lovely for Glennis's name to pop up there. There you go. You know, she has a bit of a thing for Dobby. But, yeah. Oh, can I just say, actually, Dobby had not cleared Pauline's place out yesterday. There was a removal van there, but Dobby hadn't ordered it, and it wasn't for Pauline's place. So, he actually was doing all that, and he did make her a nice dinner last night. But when he asked to stay over, she told him to sling his hook. So he was back at the office early hours of this morning. Because, of course, I'd already left. He had to hitch a lift. Okay, so I've done a little aura around those. There we go. Oh, Rose, did Chris win it? I don't know. Which Chris? Because we have a lot of Chrissies. Okay, let's go a little bit bigger. So, into this one. And I'm going to put a line this side. And a line this side. You see, giving it that little bit of a shape there. And another one this side. And one this side. So I'm going to do this all the way around each of those shapes. Okay. So it can be quite tricky sometimes. When you do this, your hand might sort of tense up a little bit because you're trying to follow a line and it's a little bit bigger than maybe you're used to drawing. So just ease off that grip a little bit and just let the pen flow. If you've got to stop part way, that's fine. Let it stop. And around we go. Okay. There we are. It's a bit quieter than this time last week, wasn't it? Last Friday we got all that knocking and banging going on, creating that wall and all that hole in the wall. It was, wasn't it? It's all been plastered now and everything. I think they're just sort of sorting a few doors out today because they need a bit of adjusting, some of them do. There we go. Okay. So it doesn't matter which ones. We've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 6 in there now. So I'm going to choose, doesn't matter which. I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Now if yours is a bit narrower, you might want to do 2. Or if it's a bit wider, you might want to do 4. Because then I'm going to fill in that bit there. Of course, if you've got your 05, you can use your 05 pen to fill that in. And there you go. I'm going to do the same from this side. And of course, let's fill that bit in there. Okay. And then 3 from this side. See, 1, 2, 3. Now you can do this all the way up and then come in and fill in if you want to. I'm going to do that and see what I think, because then I can get my 05 pen out and do those, can't I? There you go. All right, so this is lovely, isn't it? Huh? Okay, now I've actually organised all my pens because I opened my pen roll this morning and there were no pens in it. They were all in my bag. You know, and then you sort your bag out and then you find a sticky sweet at the bottom. Yeah. So I've had to empty my bag completely. I found loads of pens. Don't know why. And luckily it's a fabric bag, so I've put it in the washing machine. And I'll put it out to dry now. Yeah, so I've got so many 03 pens you wouldn't believe. All right, I'm going to miss one and I'm going to go to the next one. And you see here, I started on the left-hand side. I'm going to do the same here. Look, I'm going to start on the left-hand side and do 3 again. And then 3 this way. 3 this way. Now you've got to sort of keep watch of this because when you go back and put your pen in and you fill that first one, you've got to really focus and think, right, which one is it? Oh, Heather. See, it's not just me, is it? It's just it's actually the first time it's ever happened on the road. I think I used to have a car that did that a little bit, but my dad fixed it. And when he was around, he used to make me stand and watch him fix a car. He would never let me touch it. But he'd sort of say, look, Sandra, I'm not going to be around forever. You need to know how to fix your own car. So I used to have to stand in the cold, in the dark, with a light while he fixed it. Well, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to miss this one. I'm going to come to this one now. Isn't it funny how these things come back to you when you're having a moment? Funnily enough, yeah, I have actually got a white skirt on today. So could you imagine if John hadn't sort of been around? And I'd had to do it myself on the floor in all the gravel with a pair of strappy sandals and a white skirt. Yeah, not a good look when you're trying to get under a car with duct tape. Oh, that would have been terrible. A green furry satsuma. Oh. This is a Marks and Spencer's sherbet sweet. Oh dear. No, and I didn't take it. I didn't lick it. No, I didn't. It's gone straight in the bin. Eesh. Don't know how long it's been there. You know when you take sweets off Dobby? That's probably what it is. I probably took them off him, put them in my bag. There we go. Not just any sweets though. No, a Marks and Spencer's sherbet. Oh, I'm going to stick with my 05 because here we go. I'm going to put this sort of V shape in and I want to fill that in. So you can see these are the two patterns that I used for the planner and of course for the bag that I created on Sewing Street the other week for you to store your planner in. There you go. So it's lovely, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, Vicky, Vicky's story about that. I used to be terrible for leaving tissues in the back pocket. And I can remember once we were actually coming back from America and I got stopped in, in the customs coming out and they were doing all the security checks. And I had to empty my pockets and they'd spotted something in my back pocket that they were not sure of. And it was actually rolled up tissue that had just been in there, as you do. I always take it, certainly if you're going out to the parks all day or whatever, I always used to take a tissue, you never know, sticky sweet or whatever. And I'd actually got this rolled up tissue in the back of it that had been through the wash. And they were like, what's that? It's just a tissue. But they were really serious and I had to remove it and everything. And they checked me down and, oh, what a scenario. But yeah, I'd never leave a tissue in the back again. Oh, I'm going to fill these in. And I'm going to leave a little highlight. You see, just a little mark there. Don't have to think about them being the same place everywhere. John just rolls his eyes at me. And he's like, oh God, what's she doing now? He's lived with me for a long time. I think he knows me by now. It's always me that gets stopped anyway. It's always that, they check and then they do an extra check before you get on the plane. It's you're on the in that corridor going in and they always stop me and John's like, well, I'm still getting on. Oh, dear me. Things you do, eh? There you go. All right. So far, so good. Oh, Heather, no, I wouldn't do the milk. I can't drink milk anyway, but oh, spilt milk. All right, back to my 3. Are we ready for this? Let's put a little bit of stuff in there. I know, Sue. I never thought they'd be strict over a tissue. Okay. And let's bring a little line in here and a second one in. Okay. And then I'm going to put a little bubble over the top there. Let's fill both sides in. Okay. Oh, I've missed 3 dots. Oh, there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh. What would I do without you, Janet, checking me, just keeping an eye on me? I think I need supervision, don't I? I do. Supervision's needed all the time. There we go. Oh, do you, Sue? I actually once brought back some loose leaf tea. I'd brought it in Disney and I'd been drinking it, whilst I was, not funny tea, just actually, green tea like I do. And of course, so it was like loose leaf packages and I had to come through customs with that. And I was worrying all the way through, thinking, oh, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? And that particular year, I'd brought a guitar. I wanted to learn to play classical guitar. And they stopped me and I was like, oh my God, they're going to be testing all this tea and all this, you know. I've seen Border Patrol. And now they swabbed the guitar case and went, oh, you're fine, and let me through. Oh, Maureen, I know. Do you know what though, Maureen? These are the days that you look back on, don't you? And you laugh a little bit and you think, do you know, yeah, remember that day when? I'm just glad actually that I didn't pick the car up and drive straight down to Hobbymaker, because that would have been a bit interesting, wouldn't it? Getting stuck on the M1 and I'd got a show to do, but at least it's sorted. Well, it's going to be. It's not a big job. I think it just needs just the part needs screwing back in. It's just one of those bits that flaps at the bottom. But my goodness, it's a nice little sound at the back of the engine there. I look forward to driving it. I'm only going to be using it to go, you know, for longer journeys, so I don't need to have to stop and charge on my own. I think when we get the infrastructure right, you know, it'll be good. I mean, yesterday I actually stopped at one services and it was full, so I couldn't get on anyway. I know, Sue. And I stopped at another one and there was a car already charging, and I thought, oh, I'll wait then, because I think the person was on about 65%. I thought, oh, they'll be about 20 minutes. You know, like 50 minutes later, I was still waiting, and I thought, I can't wait much longer, I'm going to be late. So I had to drive and hope for the best yesterday. That was a little bit anxious. Well, I got there, so it's all good. Now you notice some I'm doing 3, some I'm doing 2. It just depends on the space you've got and how many you feel you want to put in. You might think, well, I'm just going to start with 2 and put 2 all the way around, see how it goes, and then you could always go back in afterwards. Okay. Sheila. I'm going to have to put... I have actually got the duct tape. I am going to take it back to the truck stop because it's not mine. So one of the guys, they're, you know, they stop there regularly, don't they? So I will return it. I haven't stolen his duct tape, although it'll have my fingerprints all over it, won't it? So yeah, that could be interesting. They'd be like, yeah, what were you doing? Oh dear. I don't know. It's all good though, isn't it? Yeah. What we live for these days. Just glad I've got my tangling. What would I do without it? What would we do without tangling now? It's sort of part of my life completely. Yeah. No, Chris is taking the duct tape back. Maybe I should just keep it, put it in the car. What do you think? Oh dear. Okay. Oh no, Chris, it's funny. You can imagine, I think they looked at me a little bit gone out as I was asking for these things. I did have to explain what was going on. I don't know. Let's have a look. All right, not too bad. So I want to add a few little leaves and things in there as well. I think so we'll first put a core. Let's put another couple of little lines in. We know loads of leaves now, so let's go back to a traditional one, I think. And have these little ones going. Oh, Sue, I did feel I needed to explain myself. So luckily, I say my dad used to make me stand and watch with certain parts of the car, so I could sort of explain like I knew what I was talking about. Not that I really did these days. I've not been under the engine of a car in a long time. Oh, I remember that, Leslie. Yeah, when we had the old office. We used to have one of those portable fires. It was so cold in there, and Leslie got a coat that she used to get too close, and it used to put holes in it. We used to laugh. And so her coat was actually duct taped together. luckily, Leslie, you weren't with me. Could you imagine the two of us together at a truck stop asking for duct tape? Oh, no. There, never mind. Okay. Oh, did you, Wendy? That's funny. I can remember I used to have, I think my very first car was a white Chevette. And I used to, when it rained, it used to have a puddle in the passenger side. And then, of course, in the icy weather, it iced up like an ice rink in my car. Yeah, that was funny. It's obviously leaky from underneath, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, I can remember having a Fiat. It was an old beige Fiat. I hated the colour, really, but it was a better car than the Chevette. And then it stopped at a crossroads right in the middle of all the traffic lights. And I had to push it out of the way. That was a few years ago. I won't want to do that now. Luckily somebody did get out of their car and help me. I think it was through sheer frustration because I was in the way. Oh dear me. Let's have a little look at this. Let's see where we're going. Oh, really? Goodness me. Oh, I like that. That's good. Okay, some zingers then, just for Julie. And I know how much you love these. If you've never done one, where have you been? All right, here we go. Little dot there. Okay. Oh, Sue, I know. Please don't worry about it. It's I know long distances can be scary, but as long as your car's fine, and as long as you've got roadside assistance, breakdown cover. If you ever have a problem, you pull up at the side and you give them a call. And that's as far as it goes. You hang out there, you wait there for a little bit. And you get them to fix it for you. It's one of those things. And luckily, you know, it doesn't happen all the time. I think I did have a car once, and it's the fuel pipe broke, and I ended up with seven firemen and a fire engine coming out to the hard shoulder on the motorway. And yeah, that was quite funny. And they literally, one of them just got underneath and plugged it back in. He was like, that's all it needs. Go to a garage and make sure it's fine. So that was an interesting time. Okay, I'm not going to overdo it with these little zingers, and I'm not going to put any bobbles in. I know I normally would, but I'm not going to today. It's tempting, but I'm not going to do it. Okay, so next bit then, pencil. I'm going to start in the middle. Of course, I've got this lovely bubble, and let's get some pencil in there. Here we go. I'm not going to be too soft with it today. Let's go for it, okay? Right. And then these little pieces here, I'm going to come underneath there. Okay. And then underneath here. Now, in the new book that I had yesterday, I talk a little bit about doing your shading first and then adding your black. So see how you feel about that. Give it a go. Because at the moment you can see with the pencil going over the black, it's leaving that little bit of a sheen, see? Whereas if you coloured the black in afterwards, I mean, I know we go back on it sometimes anyway, that will sort of alleviate that. But give it a go, see what you think. Now on my folder here, where I've done this pattern, I've actually gone in with this one here and I've coloured it in a brighter colour. I used a red just to give it a bit of an accent. So if you want to do that as well, you can do that. I think actually, I don't have my folder here. It's like everything else. It's in the boot of my electric car, which John's got at the office at the minute. But when it comes back this evening, I'll take a photograph. Oh, actually, I might have a photograph. Take a photograph of my folder, and I'll put it on the Facebook group for you, so you can see what it looks like. Okay, little bits on either side. Little bits on either side. I might as well do my little leaves while I'm there, and again a little bit on there. Let's go in a bit so you can see closer what I'm doing, okay? So look a little bit on the leaves, so on either side of those. I might actually do a little bit down the stems as well, and just a little highlight on those as well, both sides. down the stem. And these ones, just a line. So, you know, it doesn't need much. But when we come in with that tortillon, we can shade that down a little bit. A bit behind there. Oh, Sheila, you haven't half lived a life, I could tell you. Yeah, I bet you could write a book. All the things you've got up to. And in the papers, for a good reason, though. Not because you're accosting somebody. Oh dear. I don't know. See, just working my way around little bits of pencil in all areas. Chris, I don't know which one it'd be more scary or interesting. We know Sheila quite well. Absolutely. She had some interesting moments as I Sheila. All right, tortillon. Now, it's not the tortillon that I opened yesterday, because again, that's in the car, but it's okay. It's still there, it's not gone anywhere. Let's soften that off, leaving a little bit in the middle there. Okay. And then looking at these areas, let's pull this up. There you are, see, just move it up into the middle. There you are. And the same on this one, so you just sort of get it going and then pull it up. And what I will do afterwards, I'll come back in with my 05 pen and I'll put those triangles back in so you can see the difference. I'm not going to do that for these though, I'll let these fade to the background there. It's just a different technique you can look at doing. Okay, and into this one. Okay, and up and along here. So I'm not going to worry about the outside yet. I'm going to focus just on getting these in the centre done. There we go. And then I'll go around the outside in a minute. To this one. There we are. Sue, yes, you can. You can get a pencil that doesn't leave the shine. Okay. And last one, let's put that one in. And there we go. Hello, Sam. Okay, see, now these just, I don't want to fill the whole thing, I just want to soften that line off, you see. And then the same with my little zingers. Both sides, trying to leave, if I can, a little bit in the middle. Same again. And again, you could always come in and put the highlight in first if you wanted to. But I'm going in with all the graphite first today. And up we go. So, you know, take your time with this. Sometimes we can rush this bit and it's nice just to sort of go in, do a few bits with it, then look it round, there you go. So not, you know, not too much in there. Apologise if you just heard Benji snoring, it was not me. He's at the side by me. Sadly, I'm not able to open any doors at the minute because, yeah, any flies coming in, we've got that fly thing outside the door, so it's starting to catch them, but the other one gets through, and it sends him loopy. Imagine living with us this week, I think, honestly. He's like, what am I living in? Okay, let's bring that 05 pen back in. And you see where I've got those triangles? Let's put the black back in. Okay, so of course the shading now's underneath there. Yeah, let's do that one, and I'll zoom out so you can have a look at this compared to the others. I've got to do all three now, but I want you to have a comparison first. Here we go. There you are, see? So it just gives it that blacker feel, doesn't it? You've still got the shadow there. So it depends what you're happy with and what you like better. Okay, I'm just going to soften it up a bit more. Of course, once you've done one, you've got to make that decision, and you have to do all of them. Okay. And along we go. Putting that in. I'm not going to do everything in the black again. I think it's nice to have the differences, you see. But look where we've got this line here. Yeah, it does, it looks quite classy, doesn't it, Sue, having that black over the top. It just gives it something a bit more, but it's nice to have the balance of some of it over and some of it in the background. So it's a little bit experimenting, I would say, to see what you like best. But just be careful, you don't want to do everything again, because if you draw everything, then it sort of defeats the object, doesn't it? We want a little bit definition. Okay, so doing it just on the insides there, not the outside, you see, it gives that difference. Well, what we can do, we come back in with our pencil, and you see on this side where all these shapes are. Oh, Rose, best thing to do is try it, and I'm not going to go see it on those bits, just in between there. See, if you've got a pencil or something in-house or at home that you've already got, then give it a go, it can't hurt. I know you might have to sacrifice a tile, or maybe even do it on the back of a piece that you've drawn, if you're never going to draw on the back. You know, give it a go, see what it does. Okay. This is sort of, give that a bit of a shade as well. Again, you know, everything there then starts to take a back seat. It's not in the foreground anymore. We want the main sort of bit to be at the front, don't we? There we are. There we go. And this one. See? Last but not. So now the temptation would be, wouldn't it, to draw this line in with black again. Oh, sorry, Chris, but you know, I said you could actually rub it all out when you've tried it, couldn't you? Yes, Benji's here, he's having a, just having a nose at what's going on outside. Okay. So white chalky pencil, and I do use the chalk one because it will go over things better. It doesn't like to sit over graphite, but you know, as long as you've left sort of space around it, but it'll go over things better than a regular pencil would. You see, I'm adding in little bits. Vicky, yeah, absolutely. It is a bit better when sealing it. It just means it's not going to rub off, because that's it. Its very nature is to rub off, isn't it? But if you seal it, it's fine. Depends what you're going to do with it. I mean, sometimes I will actually use the the spray and shine, like a varnish, and then once it's dry, go over it with ink, and you get some quite interesting textures. Of course, your ink's not going to affect your pencil work, and it sits on the top nicely. So there we go, we've done those little bits. There you are, you see. So I'm going to come in now, add a little bit in the middles there, straight over everything. You see how it goes over that pen? It really helps it to sort of stand out. Okay, notice that mine's not squeaking. If yours is squeaking, because sometimes it's chalk, it will just sort of come in and just sort of scrape that edge off. You see, chalk, and that'll help it. So let me see if I can find a clean tortillon. Here we go, yeah, clean one. And I'm going to ever so gently, look how much further back I'm holding it. I'm going to push it into the, just to ease it off a little bit. I don't really want the graphite coming over the top. I like that white bit, but I just want to blend it in. There you are. Okay. Just how it works itself round. Sometimes we don't actually blend this in, but when there's quite a bit of it, it always works to do that. Okay. And the last thing, back with my white, see this little highlight here? I want to come in and have some there. Again, put it over. So just to enhance that, I've got a, do I have one here? I do. I've got my white gel pen. My white gel. Check it works. Yeah. And on the opposite side, where that light's, because the light's going in, it's got to come out. There we are. Just going to add a little highlight on there. And I think just being that we've talked about using the, you know, blacks, I'm going to come back in and put that one in. Okay. Last thing, I'm going to come in with my 03. And the last thing here, you see where I've got it darker there? Let's put in a little bit of a darker line there. I mean, being really picky here today, really sort of detailed with this info. And there it is. So, now I can blow. Job done. Last thing, signature. So I hope we're all a little bit calmer now. I hope we've had a bit of a laugh today. And I hope that, you know, we've sorted out the parcel issue, or at least we are working on it. We're aiming to sort of get that done. And of course, please take advantage of that discount code that's on the website this weekend, just especially to say, you know what, we're in this together, we're a team. So yeah, that code is TILE357. It gives you 10% off everything up until midnight on Sunday evening. So have a lovely weekend, everybody. Enjoy the sunshine, enjoy your tile, and I am sure if you've not got your gnomes or if you've got anything missing, it'll be with you very soon. We'll make sure that you do, so don't you worry about it. Just enjoy, okay? So, all right, have fun with it and take care, and I will see you back here. Oh, Sunday, Sanntangle at 7 o'clock. If you're watching the sewing little bits and pieces that I'm doing. Don't forget though, if you want to watch that and still transfer what I'm doing on fabric onto paper, you can still watch in the Sanntangle group and then have a go at it and do it on paper if you want. It makes lovely little toppers. But other than that, I'll see you Sunday at 7 for Sanntangle. And tile number 358 is going to be on Tuesday. So enjoy everybody, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.